So that's the.
This is the way to get other people to do it. And if
Send it, can you just send it to me?
Take away from the kids.
Are y'all ready?
Yes, sir.
Part of this community for years and years and years. So we could just have a moment of silence in their memory. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
Mayor, with regard to, under new business, item number 10, after further research and speaking with Jason Green from Reman, what I was trying to accomplish is already in place in the ordinance, so I need to remove that one as well.
Number 10?
We got a motion to remove number 10.
It's second.
A second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Any other amendments to the municipal docket? All right, can I get a motion to approve the
So-
municipal docket?
So moved.
Second?
Second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Now we got a few public hearings. The first one is Copper Court. Would, please.
Steve, that's Copper Court.
I think Mr. Gunlock has, we go forward because I think he said they're in compliance at this
Okay.
point.
They're in compliance? Yes. Remove what we asked.
So do we need any action?
No action needed.
Okay.
Good deal. So we're going to remove.
What was the
item one.
action?
No,
Mike, what was it? Just removed?
It was removed.
They were all gone as of 4 o'clock, 3:30.
Thank you.
can I get a motion to open the hearing for 105 Pirate Avenue?
Motion.
Motion is second.
Second.
Second, if you would, read that, please, Emma.
Notice of hearing was posted on subject property 105 Pirate Avenue, Long Beach, Mississippi, on March 16th, 2026 by zoning officer, enforcement officer Dale Stogner, and sent via certified mail to Carl, Victor, and Sylvia Garcia McEwen, 4729 Plantation Drive, Flowy Branch, Georgia, 30542. Notice was delivered on March 25th, 2026.
Can I get a motion to spread that across the minutes?
Motion.
Motion.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Can I get a motion to close? Oh, is anyone here talk for or against the property at 105 Pirate Avenue?
So wait, I think.
Nobody? Seeing nobody? Can I
That
get a motion?
108?
Wanna wait?
Close the public hearing.
Motion. One up here.
108?
Yeah, no, 105 is the correct address.
There's two of them. All right, can I get a motion to close the hearing?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? What's the pleasure of the board?
Motion to adjudicate.
Second. Second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next one on the agenda is 108 Pirate Avenue. Can I get a motion to open the public hearing?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
Are they here? Are they
Aye.
here?
All right, would you spread that across the minutes, Emma?
Notice of hearing was posted on subject property 105 Pirate Avenue, Long Beach, Mississippi, on March 10th, 2026 by zoning enforcement officer Dale Stogner, and sent via certified mail to Cynthia Marie Davis, 2373 South Corona Street, Denver, Colorado, 80210. Notice was delivered on March 13th, 2026.
Get a motion to spread that across the minutes.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Is there anyone in the audience for or against 108 Pirate Avenue? Mike?
Got a phone call from the property owner. There's a gentleman that had pulled a permit to demo the property, and he is out there today doing that. He has been in contact with my office.
Motion to adjudicate.
We got a motion to adjudicate. We got a
Wait.
second
Uh,
discussion.
Did we close the hearing, Mayor?
Oh,
No,
I'm
the
sorry,
motion to
I jumped the
close
gun.
public hearing.
I jumped the gun, sorry.
We got a motion to close. Second. Got a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Pleasure of the board.
I'll make a motion to adjudicate and allow Mike to work with the gentleman who pulled the permit.
Do we want to give him a certain number of days, Donald?
Mike, under your discretion, what do you think, 2
I
weeks?
think we'll be all right.
Yeah,
just report back
I
next
tell you what, if, at the next meeting, if it's not done, put it back on there for us.
Second.
Second motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Next public hearing, can I get a motion to open a public hearing on
Yes, both of them the same thing.
335 McCollum Avenue?
Motion.
A motion?
Second.
Second, would you read the memo?
Notice of hearing was posted on subject property 335 McCon Avenue, Long Beach, Mississippi, on March 24th, 2026, by zoning enforcement officer Dale Stogner, and sent via certified mail to McCon LLC, 2065 Sugarloaf Club Drive, Duluth, Georgia, 30097. Notice was returned to sender on April 5th, 2026.
Can I get a motion to spread it across the minutes?
Motion.
Second.
We have,
For that property and the next one, we've actually
we're gonna
took,
cover this one first, and then you'll be able to come back in for the next one.
we took those lights down and put a different one in that is a third of the looms. I was told we would have to let y'all come back tonight and actually look and see if it's down enough. If it's not, we're willing to swap it to a different light.
Mayor.
Whitney Jones, Bay Waveland Property, 304 Highway 90, Suite B, Waveland, Mississippi, 39576.
So,
I guess,
have you been out to,
They just did it today, so
Have
we'll go out there
picture.
tonight.
all right, so he'll go out there tonight.
Let's see, I took a
Alright,
picture
so-
when we swapped them.
So it looks like
she's
she's,
got a picture of him.
I went out there and swapped them out on the sides of the building.
I see.
Like I said, if it's not dim enough, if you'll let me know, we'll just,
So
we'll
that's
pull
what we
them for
do
now
pretty
until
much.
we can find something else, and we'll just put wire nuts on it until we can find something that don't go. But yes, he went out there today. It was about 3 o'clock when he finished, so that's why I couldn't call you sooner to come look at it.
Yeah.
All right, any further? Can I get a motion to close the hearing?
Motion.
Got a motion, got a second, any further discussion?
I'll make a motion that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Can I get the pleasure of the board?
I'll make a motion, we adjudicate, let Mike go out and verify the change that has been made and deem it in compliance.
Second.
Got a motion, a second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. So he's gonna go out and look at it, and if it looks like you said it does, then he'll report back to us and you'll be fine. Next one is 333,
Excuse me, I'd like to address the issue on the lights on the pond, please.
okay.
Give us just 1 second when you open it for this.
Yeah,
then
I didn't know
can-
she was
yeah,
here.
No, that's fine.
Okay, ma'am, you can come on up.
But
I'm sorry, I
did
didn't
you let
see
her-
you. And you want to talk too? Okay.
Let's spread the minutes first on the second one, so we're doing it legally. Spread the minutes for the second one, and then give them the opportunity to speak.
All right,
So,
all right, go ahead, ma'am.
Okay, I reside at 410 Pinecrest Circle, where my house is backed up to Macon and the apartment complexes where the two lights are shining.
Yes, ma'am.
They are also shining at 410, 412, and 408.
Okay.
This is a illumination issue that is disturbing our livelihood, our peace. I have a husband that's 81 years old. He has PSTD. Even though I have drapes, I have to keep them closed. The lights still come in, and he wakes up with trauma all the time. We've gone to the city, we've talked to them. They have not dimmed the lights. I talked to the management company. They were kind of like uncooperative. Oh, well, we can't tell you who owns the property. Of course, I could look up public records. I mean, something needs to be done. It's way high. It's not illuminating on the parking lot for the safety of the residents. It's illuminating into backyards of 3 homes. They have not dimmed them. They haven't done nothing. They could easily drop them down to the brick, run a conduit, problem solved. With the lights being so bright, also with the, I'd say clientele of the residents, for those apartments. It's causing them to be party animals till all hours of the night, because they figure, well, hey, it's like daylight out there. It's disturbing our peace, my neighbor's peace. I have an elderly 87-year-old neighbor next door. She could not come. I have my next-door neighbor that came, but it's also disturbing my animals. I had a perfectly calm dog. Now the dog just wakes up and starts hollering at, thinking it's daylight.
Yes, ma'am.
But we need something done as soon as
All right.
possible.
And he's going to go out, I think she made some changes today. He's going to go out and look at it tonight and see if it was an acceptable change. And we'll make
Well,
sure.
as of last night, they haven't made any changes.
All right, I think, didn't you do it today? She did it today, so.
Okay. Huh?
Will you state your name and address?
My name is Emma Burgoyne, Bourgoyne, 410 Pinecrest Circle, here in Long Beach.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
And I think we have one more. Yes, sir. State your name and address, please.
Evening. My name's Randy Gribben. I own 412 Pinecrest. 4 properties that are being invaded literally by the light on this property. I don't need to tell probably any of you, or certainly any police here, how many calls have been there in the 10 years I've been there. Put up with it all of it, even the ones that didn't get called on. Constant stress. Now, they flop these lights up there and flooding all our properties back there that we pay good money in that little subdivision there. We love it here. They've taken all that away. Like Jane said, she may have shades or whatever. I have blinds. So when you close them, what do you think they do? Not a lot. So once again, my whole evening when I settle down to relax, my whole back of my house is lit up. You can go outside and look at the color of the house. You can see the grass in the yard.
Yes, sir.
Total reflection. I also have a little area out there to relax in. When you walk out my back door, and I'll have any of you come over, if you're gonna go look at that light, you come over to my house across the street and come out my back door. Because when you come out there, you're like this.
Okay.
You're like this.
Yes.
I let the dog out. It's constantly flooding in. The minute it goes off, 7:17, 7:30, whatever, those lights should be down lower. There's been no lights on that property for over 10 years since I've been there. It's never been lit up. Now they got those lights up there lighting up all the way across the street, the fence, and into the properties because the lights are so freaking high.
Okay.
So there you go.
All right. And
I came here the day after those lights were up. The day after. I went in and I filed a complaint. I just went in last week to file a second complaint because I didn't think this was being taken care of.
Yes.
Or if I have to take care of it personally. So the lights will be more expensive to take down than they were to put up. Because this is a total invasion, like Jane said, and all these other older people there. I might be the youngest, and I'm no young cookie, but enough is enough. They're not allowed to invade our property like this.
Well, and you went through the right process.
I
and-
appreciate you.
Yeah, we're gonna,
Appreciate your attorney, whoever I came in, yeah. I didn't get patience as a child, so I don't know what that means.
fully understand.
All right, I
Totally
appreciate you.
understand. I
Thank you all.
appreciate y'all coming
I didn't
in
mean
and-
to be,
No, that's all right.
all right, thank you, sir.
You're very welcome. Anyone else in the audience for or against? All right, can I get a motion to close the public hearing?
So move.
Got a motion?
We did, Mr. Mayor, we didn't read,
Yeah, well, we got it in. Let's just reclose it, if y'all don't mind.
Got it, yep.
So we got a motion?
I'll motion or second.
You got a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion, what is the pleasure of the board?
Motion to adjudicate pending Mike's approval of the fixtures as amended.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Did we have any public comments?
no, sir.
All right, next item is National Public Safety Telecommunications Week. Is that a proclamation?
Yes, sir.
Would you read it, please?
Of course. Whereas emergencies can occur at any time that requires police, fire, or emergency medical services, and whereas when an emergency occurs, the prompt response of police officers, firefighters, and paramedics are crucial to the protection of life and preservation of property. And whereas the safety of our police officers, firefighters, and paramedics is dependent upon the quality and accuracy of information obtained from citizens who telephone the Emergency Communication Center. And whereas public safety telecommunicators are the first and most crucial contact our citizens have with emergency services. And whereas public safety telecommunicators are the single vital link for our police officers, firefighters, and paramedics by monitoring their activities by radio, providing them information, and ensuring their safety. And whereas public safety telecommunicators of the City of Long Beach have contributed substantially to the apprehension of criminals, suppression of fires, and treatment of patients. And whereas each dispatcher has exhibited compassion, understanding, and professionalism during their performance of their job. And therefore, Mayor Tim I. Pierce, City of Long Beach, declares the week of April 12th through 18th, 2026 to be National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week.
Thank y'all so much.
Bless you.
Now we got a presentation from Gallagher Insurance. Frank Wood, state your name and address for the record.
Frank Bordeaux, 11633 Bluff Lane, Gulfport, Mississippi. I appreciate the opportunity to speak before y'all. I was told before the meeting that there's a baseball game, and I need to be quite brief, so I'm not going to read through each one of these pages for Alderman McGooey, out of respect.
Thank you, Frank.
The long and the short of it is Gallagher Insurance is proposing to become the agent of record for the City of Long Beach for their property and casualty insurance. We're not knocking your current broker whatsoever. What we are proposing is the services that we provide that go beyond just the placement of insurance. We would obviously do a complete review of your current program, property and casualty program that you currently have in place. But in our mind and the way we handle business from an insurance perspective with our clients along the coast, and we write a vast majority of the public entities here on the coast, it's more strategic from a services standpoint. And all of our services reside here on the Mississippi Gulf Coast as it relates to risk management, training by department. Inside this portfolio, we're doing a public entity client symposium where we bring in experts from all over the world to come in and talk about issues that are pertinent to public entities in Mississippi, what's going on. That's this June. All of our entities will be there, and they get to collaborate on best practices with their IT department, with their road department. We'll also have topics as far as changes in tort reform, if there has been any, or tort immunity. Also, but beyond that, we take we're going to take your statement of values, all your properties, and we're going to model those, and we model those in-house. And so we're not relying on the carrier's models to tell us y'all's pricing or where your probable maximum loss is. We're doing our own. That way we can sit down and argue with the carriers and negotiate best terms and conditions. There's no question, regardless who your broker is this year, the market's incredibly soft. You're going to have a good renewal. There's no question about that. It's how good can it be, and it's as good as the data that you take to the marketplace. We're not just filling out applications and sending that to your carriers. We're putting together a narrative. We're telling them a story. They're coming down here and actually meeting and seeing y'all's properties. And so those are the reasons why we're here. We would be honored to be an agent of record for the City of Long Beach and can answer any questions. One thing that real quick before, we did put together a property program in the heart of the market. When the market was the hardest 4 or 5 years ago, and everybody was bringing in, every carrier, we called it double, double, half. It was double the deductible, double the premium, and half the limit. And so we changed the law in Jackson to allow coast public entities to pull together, cross-pollinate, take that complete schedule. Right now, it's 937 buildings. After this renewal, it's going to be around 1,200 buildings. And that gave us the buying power to dictate terms and conditions and negotiate better rates. It's not perfect for every public entity. We still go to the individual market, and we'll bring both sides, the individual market and what we call Coast Gov Pro. And so those are the things that we feel like we're doing that is innovative beyond just placing insurance. So-
Frank, I got a question, if it pleases the board. One of your initial sentences talked about an assessment that y'all do, and my question is that done off of hard copy documents that are already in place for the city, or are you going to require city personnel to assist you with that?
So that's a very good question. Part of being part of Coast Gov Pro, if y'all did join Coast Gov Pro, built into your premium, not in addition to your premium, we actually inspect all your properties, and it's a third-party inspector that does it. Obviously, we'll work with your staff because your staff knows where all the buildings are, but we have our internal risk management folks that will do spot checks on all of our entities. You know, they may be in Harrison County Courthouse tomorrow, they may be over in Hancock County the next day. They write up a list, but the one thing that we do want to control is when the carrier brings an inspector down. We want our folks to be with the carrier inspector. That way, we don't get a punch list from a carrier inspector dictating to us what may be cost prohibitive. We might be able to talk to them and tell them there's a reason why this is the way it is, or there's a plan in place. Part of working with all of our clients, we put together a narrative, and it's a 15-year plan on each one of our clients in order to, for roof replacements, window updates, things of that nature. That way we can tell the market that y'all are being proactive, it's going to be in a timely manner, and they see that y'all are keeping up with y'all's properties.
And Frank, real quick, just to add on that, when you're talking about is that per building on these policies?
Per building.
Okay.
Every single building. What we do is we do a third of the entire schedule. So last year, we did a little over 300 buildings. Next year, we'll do a little over 400 because more entities are joining Coast Gov Pro. And as it grows, a third of all of our buildings will be inspected. And all of our carriers know this. We, in October, our London partners came over, actually rode around, looked at all of our structures. They're quite frankly amazed of how we've built back. We took them to the barrier islands to see how we built back the barrier islands, things like that that you can't see on a piece of paper. And then we bring our domestic markets in the spring to do the same thing. So we're bringing the markets to Mississippi rather than just sending a sheet of paper via email to them to discuss your risk.
Any other questions from
Frank.
the board?
Frank, would you mind explaining, you mentioned public entities a couple of times, and giving the board an example of some of the public entities who currently participate in Coastal GovPro?
Yes, so right now, it's out to market right now. It's a 5-1 renewal. There are currently 12 public entities in it. City of Gulfport, City of Biloxi, Harrison County Board of Supervisors, Stone County Schools, Harrison County Schools, Gulfport Schools, Hancock County Board of Supervisors, Hancock County Utility, Hancock County Water and Sewer,
A little thing called Memorial Hospital.
Memorial Hospital. Memorial
That's a
Hospital's.
small thing over there, okay.
Memorial Hospital was what was the impetus to put it together. And what we gained by that is Berkshire would never look at your account ever. It's too small. They just wouldn't ever see it. They wouldn't see City of Gulfport or City of Biloxi. They've never seen Memorial Hospital because it's too small. When you start getting to $3 billion in total insured value, all of a sudden your domestic and foreign markets wake up and they're interested, especially from a cat exposure. So first year we launched last year, and it was about a $1.7 million savings to taxpayers. We anticipate another savings this year. But beyond that, we were able to dictate coverages. So the coverages that we were able to dictate, surge is included in the definition of wind. Outdoor properties were covered. You didn't have any of the ACV on roofs over 15 years old, or actual cash value on roofs over 15. We got blanket coverage, coverages that we never would dream of getting since Katrina. We put together our own manuscript form. We took it to the market. We got a lead carrier to sign on to it, and then we built the coverage. We're basically buying, we're going to buy about $500 million of wind this year. And we believe that we can buy up to $1 billion of wind, but we are going to populate it slowly. We are checking if we got several submissions this year for new entities that wanted to join. Not every one of them were accepted. If y'all join Coast Gov Pro, you would appoint a member of your city, whoever it may be appointed, to the board of Coast Gov Pro, which is a non-for-profit. That board meets and discuss the insurance program, terms and conditions. They meet with the carriers. They're very involved with the process.
Frank, I got a couple questions, or it's opened up a line of questions, and I don't know if it's appropriate to ask tonight, discuss, go into the details of it, or do we table it, meet with Frank on the side, and then come back and talk more at the next meeting? But for example, like when you said the pool, the city in the past has had some experience, some negative experience when we were in, is it Mississippi Municipal, not the MML, but the work comp, where we were in that, we were negatively affected by the other partners.
You were assessed, and so to that point, there is no assessment. The insurance commissioner has reviewed this and signed off. There is no assessment and will never be an assessment because each entity is a named insured and they have dedicated limits. Once their dedicated limits are gone, they're gone. You will never participate in another entity's claim at all.
So just to kind of let the rest of the board know, so like, for example, we talked about Memorial. If they had a huge claim, you know, as a pool, in certain pools, we would be dinged for that. And so this is the kind of stuff I'd like to boil down in the details.
This is not a captive. There's zero joint and several liability into this. The only place where y'all participate with each other is currently we have a $500,000 all other peril deductible. We did that with the intention of these entities had zero all other peril, fire, theft, vandalism. We fund that on the front end, so that's also included in your premium. That's funded and put in a bank account. What money is not used in that stays with the association. The idea is, right now we're in an extremely soft market. We bank that money over the years, and when we hit the hard market, the board can decide to use that money to offset premium increases. The whole idea of this is to have a stable market. You're not going to see the highs of the high of a hard market. You're also not going to see the lows of the low of a soft market. You could, but you're putting money aside for after the wind blows. And we know rates go up after the wind blows. At that point, we can use that money to soften the load for the taxpayers.
Yeah, so like that. So I know that my fire chief will have some questions about after claims, things like that, you know, adjusters, things like that. Also, the renewal date, you're saying 5/1, that's everybody renews on 5/1?
So everybody renews at 5/1. Our goal in doing that is negotiating terms and conditions on property lines of coverage prior to hurricane season. So we are working with, we'll meet with the board 160 days prior to renewal to strategize. 120 days prior to renewal, we're out to market, talking to markets. But prior to that, we will have already gone to London, gone to Atlanta. They will have come here, they being the underwriters, and they would handle it. As far as the adjuster, there's a single adjuster that has been agreed to by every layer, every carrier on this panel. He already has the terms and conditions, he has the statement of values, and he has reviewed, he and his team will go physically prior to hurricane season and see each building. We've had 3 claims this year with Coast Gov Pro. All of them were wrapped up within 30 days, check in hand. And you don't see that.
So just to kind of add to what Frank's saying, I mean, we were getting, he's saying 120 days out. You know, we were getting renewal terms, if we were lucky, 30 days. You know, and the market's changing,
Well,
but
final terms and conditions would be around 30 days. You will have a
if we
really,
were lucky.
you will have a really, really good idea of where we stand 120 days. 45 days is whenever we start negotiating. If we're going to kick somebody off our panel of carriers, that's the time. And then I will be in front of y'all 45 days in advance. And then also we'll be in front of you 15 days in advance with the final product. There won't be any surprises as far as increases or significant changes in coverages.
So not to cut Frank off, but if it's a pleasure of the board, I'd like to table this, give Frank the opportunity to meet with, you know, the fire chief, myself, the mayor, and, you know, two of you guys to discuss, because I'm sure as it goes on, we'll have more questions, and then bring it back at the next meeting. Does that work?
Is that your motion?
Yeah,
We
that's.
got a motion, we got a second, any discussion? You have any discussion?
No, sir, no. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yes, I didn't know if you were. Frank, great presentation, lots to
you.
digest.
Yeah.
There's a lot of information in there. If you're reading through it and you say, hey, I got a question, my cell phone is in there, call me anytime.
All right,
Thank you.
You all.
We can vote.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Next one is the approval of Mayor and Board of Aldermen, March 17th, regular meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Motion, got a second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Next one is the work session of March 31st. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Next one is the Planning Commission of March 26th, regular meeting. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Second, any discussion?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to offer a secondary motion. Approve, but we pull out the Shelter Rock project that was tabled.
All right, so we got a motion
Second.
pulling out the one item on the agenda. He's got a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to bring up the Shelter Rock progress. We had a meeting this afternoon, myself, Alderman McCaffrey, and Alderman Bennett. We met with the developer, with Mike Gunlock, and our engineer. It looks like the developer was actually out of town at the time of the meeting. Of the Planning Commission meeting. What I'd like to propose is that after taking direction from our engineer and our building department, we approve the removal of tree 1, 3, and 4, which are in the streets. The largest tree is where the detention pond is. Our engineer has discussed with the developer and his engineer are going to work together to save that tree, which is, again, the biggest tree out there, to save that one and come back, and move forward with approval on that.
All right, so we got a motion?
Donald, you got, in discussion, Donald,
Motion
this,
and second, go ahead.
this, for clarity, is the same project that was brought to us
That was tabled.
a month ago.
Yes, sir.
And would you remind everybody in the audience and the board and anybody listening how many trees they originally wanted to take?
I believe it was 8.
I believe it was like 11. if
Okay,
I'm not
11.
mistaken.
I don't know exact, but it was much greater
Wrong,
than
but it was
we're
more
at
than,
now.
yeah.
And Pete, on that, the developer has come in and talked to us and assured us that, you know, he'll make the concessions. The 3 that we're looking at are actually in the main drives, not on lots. And if you look at within the ordinance, those are the ones that can be asked for. And so that's where my motion comes from.
So we got a motion, a second. Any further discussion?
Yeah,
Greg?
so this one's kind of hard to see, but as far as any underground work, is any of these other trees, because under the initial deal, when I went out to the property, there was a lot of drainage work going to be done, et cetera, and potentially, now it may have been the other trees that they were trying to keep at the time would have been affected. What is there anything stating that any, if these three are agreed to be moved or cut down, what's to guarantee that no other trees out there will be affected with all this construction?
Cutting anything that, per our ordinance, if they were to cut it, I'm pretty sure you could, I mean, obviously there's fines, but I'm pretty sure it says in our ordinance that you can stop project, right?
Correct. So,
So Mike, would you kind of explain a little bit about, once we turn this developer on, how he has to protect the oak trees? Doesn't he have to mark them with a protective thing around them so you can't do
I'm sure
construction?
he will when he's doing that.
Right.
But he can't cut down any of those trees.
Yeah, I think his
Out of what
question
we're
is
approving.
hurting those trees that
Tree
are
that's
left.
indirectly
with-
affected
He
from
should,
construction.
he should protect the root system when he's doing that.
Now, do we assure that he's protecting those roots, I think is the question.
I don't think there's, and I'm going to take it out of Mike's pressure, I don't think there's anything in the ordinance that says, but if I need to change my, motion to put in there that he needs to give a radius on the existing trees, then I'll do it.
Safety barrier around them.
Jimmy, what's the usual?
Typically, a lot of times I'll stake it out under the drip line, put fencing up.
Okay.
That way nobody crosses over the root system.
So amend my motion, protecting the remaining trees underneath the drip line with, I guess, the orange construction fencing to save the roots?
Yep.
That's my amendment.
And I'll second your motion with additional discussion. Mike, while we're talking about protecting the root system, just happened to have a conversation yesterday, they're running gas lines on North Mitchell Road. The contractors were talking about the root system because we have numerous live oaks on that street. So that in Ocean Springs, that they simply bore for drainage, which Donald brought up, they bore through with a jet bore the root system in order to put infrastructure and drainage in places in Ocean Springs, which ultimately leads to, when the wind blows, the trees come down. As a matter of protection that we just got a motion on, can we ensure that this developer is not going to bore through the remaining live oaks and deteriorate?
I think we can ask, like Alderman Frazier said, we can ask.
You want that in there as well?
Yeah, I think that's a protective measure.
Isn't all the drainage already predefined, and you'll be able to see if they're going around an oak tree on your plat? So I think we'll know that based on what they submit.
So,
Just a concern that I happened to talk about yesterday that I thought.
all right, so,
The majority of the trees were in these lots here, and the infrastructure is, I can't find my map now, but,
So I think yours is going to be taken care of when we look at his
All
plats
right,
and how it's
that's,
growing.
I'm good with that.
And then
3 and 4.
Tim's going to be
We're
taken care
saving
of
this
with
one,
the
which is
marking
the
around
big-
the tree. So I think we're good. And I tell you, this is good when we can
These
work
are
with
actually
developers like
outside the
this
Absolutely.
to come to a
buildings, yes.
compromise. So I do want to thank y'all for meeting with Edward today.
I just want to make sure that we're on the same page. There's a clump of trees at the center of this project, and so what I'm being told is that they don't fall in the path of a footprint of a house.
The house, correct.
So I just want to make sure that this developer understands, I don't want to see him come back and ask for approval to cut those trees because he can't accommodate the trees.
Right.
Correct.
Okay, I'm with you.
All right. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next one, can I get a motion to approve the docket of claims number 040726?
Motion.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
We just,
Docket of claims.
shit, I missed it, sorry.
You want to go back?
If we can, I'd like to table the two payments, but if we can't, we already voted on it, and let it ride, let it ride. I don't want to, nope. No, I'm going to withdraw. I'll withdraw.
Okay. Next one under new business is ratify the authorization of the expense to buy the new fire truck. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
I got a
Second, I'll second.
Any discussion?
A little bit of discussion. We are getting back terms from some local banks and the
Suncoast.
Suncoast, correct, on financing. I'd like to have that on the next agenda so we're not out of that money for very long, so that we can then recoup that back in our rainy day fund and be able to term this out.
So make sure the next meeting, we've got all the rates and we'll discuss that.
We
next
have some, we're just waiting on a couple.
Yep.
They're looking pretty good.
All right, so all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Great-looking fire truck. Is it still out here? So if y'all have an opportunity before you leave, look out here on the north side of the building. That's our new addition.
Can you be careful around ditches for me, please?
Right?
It's not worth repleting.
Next item is discussion, the purchase of city entrance signs and sodding of Jeff Davis through downtown revitalization grant. Courtney?
Yes, we had signs at the entrances of Pascagoula and Gulfport pre-Zeta.
Can you speak into the microphone? Thank you.
Yes. We had entrances to the city pre-Zeta on the beach at Pascagoula and Gulfport. Thankfully, after Zeta, the Bennett family was able to find one of the signs all the way, I think it was in Biloxi.
By the Coliseum.
Yeah, so we thankfully have that one still up. It's at the Gulfport and Long Beach line. Through the downtown restoration, we tried to get approval for all signs at all of our entrances. Unfortunately, since it is a downtown, they will let us do the Pascagoula and Gulfport, but they won't let us branch out to like 28th Street and Beatline, that area. So my thought process is to get new signs. Sand Beach and MDOT have approved the two signs, and then the one that we do have, we can move it and put it 28th Street and Klondike until we can get some type of funding. And then the sod, Ryan, do you want to talk about that?
We're, instead of continuing to put mulch or pine straw down Jeff Davis, every time it rains, we lose it. We've sodded one over here, and everybody thinks it looks great. So I'd love to get enough sod to go ahead and do all the flower beds down
And
Jeff Davis.
the first section of sod, he was able to pull through his budget, but he didn't realize how much it was gonna take.
So we need 8 more pallets.
And so we have that grant that's going to cover.
What kind of money we're looking?
Revitalization. About-
Looking at
I think it's about 2,000.
55 for,
Well,
It's a 200 a pallet, but we needed 8.
210 a pallet for 8 of them.
Yeah, so we're talking about $1,600.
I guess my question is, and not to bring up large discussion, we changed the one here at the foot of Klondike and none. Are we
You're talking
gonna,
about the sign now, not the side. Okay. all right.
are we gonna kind of make them universal throughout, or what's the idea?
So the idea, or I guess the thought process for that one is to kind of somewhat unify the banners that were being hung there, because there was like 5 at a time. So that unified that. The ones that we proposed, I think it's in your packet, is the city logo for these two.
Yeah.
Ideally,
I-
it would be great to get those at the entrances so we are uniformed. But at the time, we don't have the money. for
Okay,
those two.
no, I was wondering if that's the direction that we're
Yes,
trying to
yes,
go.
yes.
So, all right.
And I want to, you go ahead. You got it.
go ahead. I was gonna
I want to thank you, Courtney, for looking into that. And Ryan, that's a great idea. I think in the long term, it's going to pay for itself. And actually, so when you leave, an example of what we're talking about is right over here next door, out in the front. You'll see where we sodded with some real good grass that's going to last. So this will be a one-time expenditure where we're putting straw and things in those flower beds all the time, and so,
Lot less upkeep.
lot less upkeep for the long haul. All right,
Make a
all in.
motion to approve.
We got a motion to approve?
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. The next one is discuss the Long Beach Tree City, Alderman Frazier.
That, I struck.
Okay, that's all right.
Yes, sir.
One off, all right. We are a tree city, just to let everybody know.
Thank you.
Annexation update to include the numbers of board review? Okay,
Either way, this is gonna require executive session. I have litigation questions and attorney fee questions.
Regarding annexation?
Yes, sir.
With the annexation, so I don't know if y'all wanna go take care of that now, or just do it under the attorneys. It's up to the board's pleasure.
whatever the pleasure of the board.
Can we hold off until later, if that's okay?
That's fine.
Yeah, I say we hold it off to the
Put
end.
that up under the city attorneys.
All right, next one is, request from the Rotary Club, permission to sell beer, light wine at the Long Beach Activity and Senior Citizens for the bingo event scheduled for Tuesday, April 28th. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Got a motion?
Second.
Discussion.
Courtney, is an alcoholic beverage permit required?
Yeah, we do it for any event that takes place on city property. Back in October, we did one for Taste of Long Beach. They require the property owner their approval.
And then security as well.
Yes.
Yep.
All right, any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Next one, we've got the quarterly report for the Long Beach School District for the town green. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Killing it.
Second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Maintenance service agreement with Taylor Sudden Services for all city generators and authorized mayor to execute the same. So I think we've got that. So I guess we're ratifying. Can I get a motion to ratify that contract to do the maintenance on our generators?
Motion.
Got a motion?
Second discussion, just
Discussion.
reiterating that it's all our generators now. That was a big key for me, having them all on one contract and renewing at the same time.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Next one is the Long Beach Gateway Change Order Number 2. Can I get a motion?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Next one is discussion approved verbiage that was approved but not included in ordinance 668. And I think that was yours. so we
Yes,
took that
sir,
one off. I'm
it
sorry.
was.
No,
Did we take,
number
okay.
10.
You took one of them off.
Okay, you took the other one off.
Took
Okay.
10 off and left 9 on. What happened, and I'm going to call on the returning members of the board. If you recall, and I don't know if it was March of 24 or 25, the previous board approved an application, and in that application was verbiage that allowed for indigent individuals or potentially indigent individuals to apply for a reduced fee for a cemetery plot. At that time, as if I recall, and by no means am I throwing anybody under the bus, I'm just going by memory. Seems I recall, as council told us at the time that, and I agree with him, that there was an overreach on some of those questions, that we got a little bit too personal with regard, if my memory fails, let me know. So it was taken back for review, and it never made its way back into the ordinance. And that's the only thing that I'm discussing, item number 9.4, that application and that verbiage for indigency that was previously approved. Steve, I think we need to get it back into the, I assume you still have it?
I'm sure that I do, Alderman Magui, and I'm not sure why, after you and I discussed and the board discussed some of the concerns I had regarding some privileged information that the original application requested, that everyone agreed could be redacted. I'm not sure. My memory is not as good as yours. For some reason, I don't have any explanation for why I did not get back before the board and become an amendment to the ordinance.
And it could be an
668.
oversight upstairs. I don't
I'm
know.
certain I still have it. I mean, we had it before the board somewhere.
So could we review that and make sure that it's sufficient to include in our ordinance?
Yeah.
And bring that back at the next meeting? And
I'll
see
get
if-
it to the next meeting.
Thank you, sir. That's all I have with regards to that.
No action. Oh, is any action required?
No, sir.
All right, moving right along. Next one is Long Beach Main Street request to temporary close Long Beach Radish Festival on April 18th. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Can I get a
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next one is another special event application and fee waiver for the Gulf Coast Root Beer and Bacon 5K run on May 9th. And this is for the Mississippi Heroes. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Next one is a banner request from the First Baptist Church to hang banners for the June 15th through June 10th for the Vacation Bible School.
Motion.
Got a motion?
Second with discussion.
Second with
I
discussion.
say this every time. I just want to commend First Baptist for leading the way on hanging the banners and making sure that they are removed in a timely fashion. So thank you.
All right, very good. Next one is,
Got to vote.
all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Next one is a request to approve Kenneth Yarrow of the Gulf Regional Planning Commission to redirect $150K from Beatline Road study funds to prepare a white paper for the road moving to the west. Can I get a motion? Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Got a motion?
Second.
Second, any discussion?
Mr. Mayor, I'm just going to say, I've struggled with this since our meeting, and I guess here's my biggest timeline, my biggest thing with this and where I'm held up, even whether it be moving, beat line, any road. We have until 2027.
September 2027 to have it obligated.
Obligated,
Not
meaning.
expended. Expenditures can go through 2032.
But obligated meaning we're moving
Contract.
dirt?
No, just under contract.
Okay.
Contract's in place, correct.
Okay. So it left me with some confusion, and pardon me for asking questions after the fact. We're doing this, we're asking to do the white paper, and that's strictly just to move this project. And being that it's a dedicated road already, we don't have to do the environmental?
Oh, we're going to have to do all that. This is, so the request here for the 150K, we can't do anything
And
as far as moving
and
into
you're
this
right.
until we release some money to start doing the study and do the white paper.
Okay, and so I guess here's where my hang-up is, and it may be something simple that I'm just overlooking, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong. That obligation is where we are required for the 20%. Now, I know we have Commission and Klondike, we have the bridge widening that we've done that potentially can be used towards our match.
Right.
But we won't know until, I guess, when.
Well, we had that discussion.
And so you see where I'm
Yeah,
coming
oh, yeah,
from, and I'm
this-
going,
But we can't get those until we start to move towards and start this study.
so we have to take step one before we can basically get any of our questions answered.
Right.
Okay. And that's where I'm kind of hung up with. Number two, I guess, to anybody, is there another project, and I know this is $16 million that was awarded to us several years ago, but is there another project that this $150,000, excuse me, not $150, could be used for that we could have asked for potentially, and we're not getting because we're looking at this big project?
Yeah, no, so that 150 is specifically defined in
For
that-
this.
For this study.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's.
And I guess I'm asking those questions just to, we did discuss that in this meeting. We've discussed it for time and time again. It's just wrapping your head around, okay, we have to do this before we can move the money, but then we're on a very short timeline.
Yes, to get it obligated. That's true. And that's why we're moving on.
Sure, and I get it, so that's my questions.
So I'd like to offer a perspective, if it's okay, and I've told this board, and I've told you people who attend the meetings, people who are listening in, when I struggle. I admittedly struggled with this back and forth, and I'm just going to give you my perspective, okay? It's not necessarily the perspective of this board, just my perspective. I understand what the white paper does. It's a path. It's a vehicle to get to an end. But I have to be candid and realize, and we have to realize, that in reality, the end result was referenced in a work session last week, that an analogy was made in comparison to Cowan Lorraine Road. Personally, I am opposed to allocating, infringing, or appropriating any homes, any businesses, or any churches with a 5-lane road going up Cleveland Avenue. I just don't, and that's what the $150,000 leads to. We've spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, and we've talked ad nauseum about making a walk-in community, and then you're going to put 120 or 150-foot 5-lane and split the walk-in community. What did we gain? I understand progress, but I personally, my perspective, I don't think that progress has to be at the expense of the citizens of Long Beach, and that's my perspective.
I have to agree with you. I fully understand. I would love a 5-lane road coming down to Highway 90. I personally don't think that's the location, because it does split our downtown in two. I know we don't have many other options, but I personally cannot get on board with that route for future development.
Any other discussion?
I know after we had the discussion at the work session, my phone started blowing up almost immediately with homeowners, and I understand their concerns. I was involved in a situation years back when I lived in North Mississippi with a 269 loop where one of the routes ran right through the middle of my den. And that's not a good place to find yourself whenever they say, hey, we're going to possibly impose eminent domain, take your property from you. It wasn't any amount of money that could justify that in my mind. So I'm opposed to taking someone's home that they've worked and paid for, especially if they've chosen to come here from somewhere else and make their home here. I think we need to look out for the citizens as well as the future of the city. We need to find a way that's compatible to let people keep their homes, their businesses, and then figure out something. It's not going to be easy, but I think that we can put our heads together. We can figure something out that's going to work for everybody.
Mr. Mayor, I perceive this as a white paper that will provide information for us to make the decision in the future if this is something we want to do. I think what intrigues me is the fact that this could be an economic engine for our city, a possible economic engine for our city, to be able to fill in this blank property that's been down here for years, that will open up economic activity that we desperately need. We have got to change our mindset and not block the fact that we're just going to be building houses here and we can survive on houses. Our police, our first responders need to be compensated better. We can't sustain the way that we're moving here. We have to be able to look at the future. This white paper, in my opinion, I'm for this. And the reason why I'm for it is not because I want to knock people's houses down and this, that, and the other, but I think it's important for us to see what this study will glean. And we make an educated decision on this. We have the funds, we can redirect this money to do this white paper. I think we'd be remiss if we didn't pursue at least, funding this white paper and seeing what it provides for us and what we would benefit and then what would we give up. And then we can make that decision at that time as a board. But to kill this and to just say, I'm not for this on the front end, I think I don't see that as smart business. I'm sorry, but I look at this from a business perspective, and I think I'm right on this one.
So my question is, I'm sorry, were you going to?
No, go ahead, sir.
This $150,000 is specifically allocated to this, correct?
Yes. And it's
So
paid
if,
through the grant.
if
We don't spend it.
If we don't spend it, it's gone anyway, because for sure, it cannot be allocated for
No,
anything
it's
else
gone.
in
You
this
gotta
city.
do the white paper. If you do anything other than Beatline Road Expressway, you gotta have a
So, I
white
mean, I'm not sold on either way yet. However, I lean towards not taking out houses, but we'll never know what we gotta take out unless we have a.
And that's a good point.
And the vote for the white paper is not a vote to take people's houses out. That's the point I'm trying to
with
make.
that too. I don't.
Well, with that,
that's
along that lines, if you don't mind, David, non-biased reaction from you, and you love when I put you on the spot. Can you explain what the white paper tells us? And when I say that, is it like we were dealing with the, not the economic effect, what was the study? Environmental study. Does it tell us, does the white paper do the same? Does it tell us where the road would go, how wide the road would go? I guess that's specifically, what is the white paper for the non-construction people?
Yeah, right.
What does that tell us? What does it do? What kind of picture does it give back to the city?
Right.
And last part of that, if you will, is it like a regular study where it's only good for X amount of time? You know how we do a study, I don't know, on traffic on 90, and it's good for 4 years, then you have to update it. Is that the same? I guess if you'll speak to that as well.
Okay, I'll do my
Thank you.
best. I think that the main goal of this white paper is to help the FHWA, the U.S. Department of Transportation, understand that this route accomplishes goals and priorities and items, action kinds of items that are similar or maybe the same in characteristic as what was going to be accomplished on the Beatline Expressway. So, you'll have what kinds of environmental impacts are you going to have? You'll have cost estimates. You'll have some understanding, even if it's rough, about what kind of right-of-way acquisition is actually going to be needed. You will have a feel for what is the proposed typical section of this roadway. Is it going to be 5 lanes? Is it going to be 3 lanes? Those kinds of things will all be addressed by this white paper. I would say that probably every study that's ever done does have a lifespan. I don't know that we're talking 4 years. I'm sure it's probably a little bit longer than that, but eventually the things that you wrote 10 years ago are no longer valid, so I mean, there's definitely a lifespan to the study that would be done.
So in a sense, some of what we were looking on Beatline when we were going to do the environmental study, this white paper would also not cover all of it, but cover some of it. Is that fair to say?
Yes, sir, I think so. I mean, because
I'm not trying to paint you in a box here, is where I'm asking.
I understand. Yeah, I mean, you're going to be, the main goal of this, as I said, is to convince FHWA, who has this nearly $17 million that's kind of dedicated towards the Beatline Parkway, is to convince them that this could accomplish the same goals.
Okay.
For the city
And
and
then-
for the regional transportation.
My only question is, let's say, well, I just decided to piggyback off of Pete, even if I don't know how to say it, like eminent domain of residential houses is not, I just wouldn't support it. Period. Even if it is, maybe I wouldn't leave my house, it wouldn't be. But I'm not necessarily against the white pages, but can you tell us, we do the white pages, we see what's next as far as in the process of the parkway, as far as our financial obligation?
Yeah, I think ultimately you would part of this white paper would paint the picture of what the roadway improvements would cost. And it is, I think, more than just, the white paper does, I think, accomplish this, it needs to accomplish the same things as the Beeline Parkway. So it is Highway 90 to I-10, I believe.
Yeah.
And so understanding the cost estimate of that and how, obviously, the city would probably not want to be in sole ownership of anything north of 28th Street. But the next step, if you could get FHWA to agree that, hey, this is a good project, this would be helpful for Long Beach, helpful for the region, then understanding what the project is going to cost in its phases, whether that's from Highway 90 to the railroad tracks or Highway 90 to 28th, and then eventually all the way up to I-10, you would understand what the city's local share is going to be.
My only thing was, I just want to make sure that the ultimate goal, if the goal is a 4-lane, 3-lane, 2-lane to I-10, that we're not just doing this to say, we have $150,000 that's going to go, let's spend it, do it, and then with no intentions of going past that point. I just want to make sure, because I think that's what.
And I kind of was the same way, and that's why I was asking what the end of life on it
That's
is.
what's wrong with
But the crux would
government in general, is like, I don't want to just spend it because we'll lose it and we're just going to spend it. I want to ensure.
I want to spend it
that
to
we're
see what
going
our options
forward.
are. I'd love to see what our options are.
I
I think it's a great investment.
I kind of agree with Patrick too. I mean, we went through the same thing with the Beetline Parkway. And once we got through all the steps, that's when we realized there's no possible way the city could afford a project that size.
Well, along that lines, because that's one of my questions, but in your opinion, again, we're talking opinions because none of us know, and maybe the mayor can shine this. At what point in time do we then find out, is it during this white paper process or after, where we go, where we're given credit for the work we've done with Commission and Klondike, the bridge south of Commission and Klondike intersection, the other work that we've done? I guess at what point in time do we go, yes, you're given credit for that. Now, Long Beach, you thought you were on the hook for 20%, but you've already spent, and I'm using a number, 12%, 13%. When do we know that hard number is maybe a question that none of us can answer, but that's really what's going to boil down for a lot of us here. And I know in talking with you guys, I think this is probably, in my third term, this is probably the hardest decision I've seen any board members have to make, because struggling, yes or no on this.
Well, to be clear,
And I'm sorry,
just my opinion, I ain't going through nobody's house either.
I think
But
we're all
I
there.
don't know I'm gonna be going through anybody's house unless there's white paper done, and I know what it's
Correct.
doing.
That's right.
David, do you know when we would find out? At what step? Do you have an idea or a best guess when we would find out, or how we would find out what we're getting credit for?
I would hesitate to speak
Okay.
on that. I mean, that's.
No,
gonna-
that's fine.
I wouldn't want to shade.
Yeah,
how that
again,
plays.
I just didn't know if you've known this, if.
I do not.
It's down the road is what is.
Sir.
This is new road, new territory we're going down.
For all of us.
Yeah, until we get there now.
Okay.
I will say something that, when I ran for mayor, I ran on economic growth for this city. And when I went back and looked at audit reports from 2019 to 2024, we had gone from a fund balance of 4 million to a negative 100,000 in the hole. City cannot continue to go this direction. We're the highest taxed city. We got the lowest and paid employees. We cannot continue to do the same thing expecting the different results. We have property along Jeff Davis, along Highway 90. For those of you here, were here before Katrina, there was an empty lot on Highway 90. There was an empty lot on Jeff Davis. It's been 25 years since Katrina. We got to spur growth down here on the coast. And even when we had past investors that wanted to come in, and we'll take that Kmart property, for example. Part of the deal was they would say if it was a hotel, well, we got to get us a north-south corridor to the interstate, or we're wasting our time.
Well, all of
We're
those
not
are
going to come over this way.
traffic count, yeah.
And
You're correct.
Well,
You
I
know,
will say part of the problem was and and like I said, I'm not against the white pages, but part of the problem in the spending, which I voted no on a lot of these projects, is just these large projects in general, because a 5% overrun puts us, as Harrison County, I mean, we wouldn't have the money to pay employees. That's just, I just get, when you say 16 and 20 million, and this is a $200 million project, that just, that's what scares me, is because.
I don't think we have to do it all overnight.
Part of the problem in the past was getting into projects that sound great on paper because they're big and they're exciting and it's gonna bring development, but then you get into a 5% overrun and then you're
You know what?
belly up.
Hey, Patrick, the fact that you're looking at these projects and you're thinking ahead, that's attractive to these economic people that want to build. If you're sitting here saying, we're not interested in this, this is not a priority for us, we want to keep on doing what we've been doing, that's one of the things that's holding us back. We have got to change. We have to have a paradigm change of how we're thinking. And I'm not quite, I don't know if everybody's there with me, but I think it's the right thing to do.
You just gotta keep the lights on.
You do. You have to keep the lights on, but you also have to look at your future.
Just one last question, and David or the mayor, if we do white paper, this completely shuts down Beatline correctly? It closes the door on Beatline and we move forward?
Well, I don't think it closes it. That obligation date is September 2027.
So regardless.
Regardless of where it's at.
So it's just, okay.
So the thing about the Beatline Expressway is Long Beach is the only player in that game. It used to be the county,
that's what
it
I'm
used to be
saying.
Pasco-Chan, so
Harrison
that was-
County and Pasco-Chan have pulled out.
So that was a no-go. On this particular project here, we made it more of a regional project.
Got it.
So we've got the Port of Gulfport that is very behind this project. We got the CB base that's behind this project. We got the Harrison County Development Commission that's behind this project. We badly need evacuation route out of this area, because right now, if you're dependent on trying to get out of this area using 28th Street into 49, we're in trouble. And a lot of these roads that we're talking about today, whether it be Cleveland or Klondike, those are dangerous roads today. We've got people walking down our roads that are blind, and they really are, and it's so dangerous. So, like I said, I'm looking more towards long-term. This isn't going to happen overnight. People think it's going to happen in 5 years. No, it's not. It's going to probably be 10 or 15 years.
I think it's going to be our grandchildren that are going to reap the benefits of this. This is not going to be something that we'll be able to see.
Yeah, and I don't want this city to continue to be the stepchild of the coast, to be the ones where we train employees and they go off and find a job somewhere else because they can make more money.
Yeah.
We got a school district that's number one in the state, and yet they're the lowest paid on the coast. You know why? Because they care about our city. The teachers come back to teach in our city. That's not fair. That's not fair. We got good police officers, good firemen. I've got good administrative people in my office, and I said, boy, I wish I could give you a raise. I can't give you a raise because there is no money to give you a raise. We cannot continue to go down the same path and expect a different outcome. So,
Mayor, I'm sorry. I just, your talking points just now, you mentioned at the work session last week, backing of the CB base, backing from the harbor of Gulfport, backing from Harrison County, and I think you said the city of Gulfport?
Yeah.
And my question is, does that definition of backing translate into supporting dollars as well? That's my concern, and I will remind everyone that, yes, we will benefit by something like this south of 28th Street, but guess what? North of 28th Street to the railroad tracks, that's county, and they're going to benefit too, so they need to be a player with regards to backing some money.
Good point, Pete.
Yeah, that is a good point.
But David, not to put you, but is this 150,000
It's up to 150.
up to, but there's no overage. The question is it going to cost this white paper going to cost this city 1 penny?
No, sir. It's 100% funds.
I mean, it's a break-even win. I mean, it really is.
I just wanted
No downside to this, other than I don't like this idea of growth and looking forward to the future. Just keep doing what you're doing.
And we took the Cleveland Klondike corridor because we have a lot of available commercial property on that corridor, as well as down at the south end of Cleveland, when you come on to Highway 90, all of those properties in there, they really want a north-south corridor, and I think those properties will be so valuable. It's all about traffic count. And right now, the people who come through Long Beach are coming through 49 to come this way. And I would rather have a direct route into the city of Long Beach as well as an evacuation route. Let's don't forget the importance of evacuation route, because that's crucial.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, one of the things I was thinking about was doing this, looking at this project in a phased approach, a two-phase approach. We could look at 28th Street to Canal Road as being the first phase, and that would be the easiest phase because we only have a few property owners in that area. We wouldn't have the eminent domain issues that you would have from 28th down. So this project could really be a half project. We could complete the first phase from 28th Street and build that connector up to I-10. But then from south, from 28th Street to Highway 90, that would be the phase 2 that would take much longer to do, and we may not even complete that phase of it.
Yeah.
So let's don't be short-sighted and say, let's just look at this thing as one project. I envision a two-phase project. Let's break it into smaller pieces. Let's just eat this elephant a bite at a time.
To add to that, the beat line was going to be 4 phases.
That's right. It
Four
was gonna be
phases.
So we're looking at this like it's one phase, it's all or none.
And one more thing.
Okay.
You can say. And so when I say evacuation route, it's not, that evacuation route isn't just getting us up to I-10, it's getting us all the way up to Highway 53. So we don't have to go out into Highway 49 and fight the traffic to go north. This evacuation route will start from Cleveland at Harbor all the way to Highway 53, way up the road. So it's, from a safety perspective, it's evacuation route is imperative that we do that. And like I had mentioned before, we've got to find ways to bring more revenues into the city. And if we don't, we're not going in a good direction.
I think we can have our cake and eat it too. If we look seriously at this phased approach that I just mentioned, we can accomplish a lot of these objectives without going through the whole complete project.
I think, so after this discussion, I'm going to offer a secondary motion and see, before we take the vote on the first one.
Everybody, we got a substitute motion.
I'm going to make a substitute motion that we approve the request to GRPC for up to $150,000, giving the mayor the authority to make that request and sign a contract with the appropriate parties, contingent on the city spending $0 out of our budget, and before any other decisions going forward on this project, it would need to come back to the board. So that's
I'll second that.
That's my secondary.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
Roll call.
Aye.
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 I respect everybody's talking points, but I'm a no.
Motion carries.
Understand.
Thank you. Next one is MML 95th Anniversary Conference, June 29th through July 1st in Biloxi. I think we're going to send 3 of our administrative offices to the training, and 2 of them, and myself, and I'll open it up to the board if they want to go. It's a real good, education if you go to these things. I know that, Joey, you had expressed interest in going.
If I go, Mayor, I'd go at my own expense.
Well, Mr. Mayor, I in the past, just offering this, I don't see this being an issue with the city spending money on this to send the employees and anybody that would take part in it. What we've done in the past is done a blanket application, and I don't think that's wise if you're not going to use it. I personally will not be going, so I don't think the city should spend money register
no,
me or anything like
Yeah,
that,
You would
so.
kind of have to tell us tonight if you plan on
You know,
attending.
so
or
that,
not.
that's kind of where I stand on this whole deal. I think it's a great education for any one of the aldermen, the mayor, the employees, but unfortunately, I would not be able to attend.
In my opinion, the board has attended in large numbers in the past, so I would leave it up to the board members to decide if they have the opportunity to go. I think the city.
All right, so who would like to?
I went
to
last
attend?
year, and there was a lot I learned. Of
there-
course, I was a new alderman. There's a lot to be learned.
It's really good. It
And,
is.
you
You
know,
never
I don't want to
learn
be
too
a
much
burden,
there.
I don't want to be a burden to the city. You know, I think it's like $350 a head to go. There goes our new fire truck. Siren works.
And the good thing.
That's not
about
it?
this
No, it's
one
another
is
one. I'm sorry.
It's in Biloxi, so it's not any overnight or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's very
It's a good 4
educational.
days. It's a good time, good learning. All right, so Patrick, do you want to?
Gotta work.
You better, because you're a school teacher. All right.
Jesse.
Jesse?
I'm not, no.
Yeah, I'm interested.
And I'm out.
Out? All right.
I don't believe I'll be able to make it.
I might have a job.
All right, we got two that might be going. Y'all let us know tomorrow, because we got to
Okay.
get this registration in. All right. So can I have, then I need a motion to go ahead and approve us
Motion.
funding.
I'll motion that.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Departmental business, mayor's office, I'll have to say that I think we did very well with the state this year. Of course, we won't know until April 15th, because that's as long as the governor has to veto. But it's looking real promising that we will be very, very close to completely funding our harbor and possibly the Gateway project. That's going to be the outlier. I did meet with Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith today. She was the one that helped fund the Gateway project. She made a mistake of asking me what I wanted, and so I told her. So I'm going to follow up with her to see if I can get a little bit more. I think it's right about $700K that we may be short, but that's $700K in a $30 million project. So I want to commend the last board for the hard work that they did to get us to where we are today, and I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. If you get an opportunity, slow down as you pass by the Gateway. You're going to be so proud of that particular facility. And the harbor is doing just as good. So we're going to have something down there that's going to be the front door to this city, and you'll be proud of it. That's all I got. Personnel, city clerk's office, 4 stipends.
Motion.
Got a motion?
Second.
Discussion.
Discussion.
Mr. Mayor, I noticed in this packet here where there's 4 employees that are looking for 400 stipend, and it says for additional duties because of the absence of the comptroller, and it just says it's going to be reviewed at the end of fiscal year. If someone could help me understand what this page was missing out of my packet.
she
I've just
gave it
got
to me.
this, okay.
Yeah.
Pardon? Okay, well, this is the information I was going to ask someone. Can you speak to this? Because I haven't seen this yet. But I didn't understand why we're giving 4 stipends, to 4 different people. I understood that Stacy, she's not an employee of the city.
She is an employee of the city.
Pardon?
She is an employee of the city. She's part-time.
Well,
She's
I'm
our
sorry.
payroll
I'm
clerk.
Yeah, okay, a part-timer, not a full-timer.
She's not
okay?
full-time, no, sir.
And I guess I was looking at this from a private perspective, from my business background, and whenever someone like this was to leave or whatever, we ask someone to kind of fill in, to help out. And it's a good cross-training type of thing, and it's well perceived from that perspective. We don't give a stipend just to say, well, you're doing more duties. We're all asked to do more with less. I have first responders that could use stipends also. So when you were giving stipends out, I want it to be delineated, what is it for, who's getting it, and I want an end game on this, not say that we're going to be reviewing it at the end of a fiscal year. I want to know what specific duties. That's what and maybe this page is here telling me all this that I didn't know.
Yes, sir.
And when I read this, it gave me heartburn and it shouldn't have.
No, sir, you should have called our office. You can always call and ask me.
So can you
Sure,
help
sure.
the
It
board
is to-
understand what we're doing here, or
I
what you're
certainly
attempting
can.
to do?
I certainly can. We do not have a comptroller here to do day-to-day activities, such as bank deposits. We are all short-staffed. I don't have a deputy at this time, so everything falls on me. In making everyone those 4 people deputies, that's going to take some of it off of me. If I'm out for a class, if I am in a meeting, they can fill in. As far as the comptroller information, if,
Excuse me, Emma, let me stop
Sure.
you. Are we legal here, counsel?
Yes.
Talking personnel? I'm sorry, go ahead.
it allows them to take away from their duties. Their main duty is whatever their job is. So, for instance, if Communities Affairs, she has her main job as that. She's doing extra hours and putting in extra time. We don't get paid overtime. We're not doing anything, without our other job. We do our other job, but then we have to do these others. We're going to have to go to make bank deposits, daily reconciliations, stuff that a full-time comptroller would have done.
Okay.
But we don't have a full-time comptroller right now.
I understand that.
And we are well within our budget not having a deputy or having the comptroller here right now.
Okay, but you're telling me you're needing 4 people to fill in for a comptroller?
No, sir.
So
There's-
this is above and beyond comptroller?
Yeah,
You're-
This is
you're-
above
okay,
and above.
That's
This is-
starting to make sense to me, because it
says-
didn't make any
Within a
sense that we'd
comptroller.
hire 4 people or give them stipends.
It says deputy or comptroller on the paperwork, or it should.
And
It says, I don't see anything about deputy on here.
It
says
should be on the paper that you have.
Well, I just got this.
yeah.
I apologize.
Yeah, that's all right. I apologize for that. So when I came in to be mayor, and I went up into our administrative group, it was stovepiped. I had no cross-training. Everybody did their specific job, and that was it. I lost my comptroller. I lost our deputy clerk within, like, a matter of no time. I lost my secretary, so I'm down part-time there. I'm even secretary sometimes. Emma was here working late Saturday. She works late at night to 6:30, 7 o'clock. My people in our administrative office do what they have to do to get things done. So
And I
this
am
is
not,
just a
I am not
temporary-
one of the individuals for the stipend. I am not asking for a stipend for myself. There's no,
You're the only one that's
But I'm going to
excluded.
take that load off of her.
I mean, everybody else is getting one.
I mean, this is,
it's,
Not at all times.
I completely understand where you're coming from, but I'll piggyback on the mayor. He came in, we had full office upstairs. And there was a lot of retirees, and we're just missing in a lot of places that we need to fill in until we can.
I mean, I looked at this, I looked at the numbers on this. If we do this, pay this amount of money over, until the reviewed at the end of the fiscal year, we're looking at, I figured 10 houses of taxes we're giving away on these stipends.
but we're
And-
not paying benefits either.
What?
We're not paying benefits. There's no benefits, extra
I'm
benefits.
with you on that. I'm talking about
And
just
that's
the
gonna
money,
be-
just the money that we're paying, not benefits, but we're just the cash money that we're putting out. Greg, you can say maybe that it's, we're saving money by doing this, by not having a comptroller and doing it this way. But I just got to harken back to my past business experience in the private sector, and I know this is totally different than private sector. But when I was challenged with these types of issues here, we all put, I said, look, we're on an austerity program. We have got to do some things, go above and beyond, and all contribute to, to pulling.
Every
help
single
us-
one of those employees do go above and beyond.
I have to.
Donating
attest to
hours.
that. And usually when you have these issues, they're short-term. We're going on 7 months of shortages in my office, and they're doing the best they can do.
Well, my next question
but here-
on that
here-
is,
let
where
me-
are we on
hang
hiring
on.
people then?
Hang on. Well, we already got a job opening out there right now.
I
for
don't
a
see it on the
comptroller.
website. I mean, it's not even on the
It
website.
just closed last Friday.
What now?
It closed last Friday. The comptroller closed
Okay,
last
that's why I
Friday.
didn't see it then.
And we have,
Okay.
Now, believe me, as soon as I get a comptroller and I get back up, that stipend will go away. This is just temporary. This is not going to be, it better not make it to the end of the year.
I
because-
just, again,
gotta get
I'm not
full
trying to be
staff.
difficult.
Oh, no, sir.
I just
No,
want
you're fine.
everyone to know that this is serious.
Oh, it is
Because we have
serious.
people that deserve stipends also. And I want to pay those people too. They go above and beyond. They do other things too. And we're setting a precedent here. And, I'm a big believer in, let's treat everybody the same. Let's give everybody who goes above and beyond the call of duty to give them a stipend too. They deserve one.
And I see what you're saying,
And that's the only point I'm trying to make. And I'm not trying to be difficult, but let's, you know,
I'm looking at it from I mean, I had a question too. When I saw it, I called and I got some answers. And, you know, I did the math. I mean, if the comptroller's making what they make, you know, it's public knowledge. If they're asking for $400 a month and there's 4 of them, it's about $14,000 to finish out the year. Extremely low for what's getting accomplished. And again, there's no comptroller. She don't have a deputy clerk. Look, I see your point.
that's all I'm trying to make.
That money was, if we had a comptroller, we wouldn't be having this discussion.
The
I mean,
money's
it's
in the budget.
Yeah, it's in the
In
budget.
her budget already. That's why I don't have it.
And I knew I was going to hear that, it's in the budget, and gives me heartburn when I hear it's in the budget so we can spend it. So, I mean, I have this is my background, forgive me, this is different, this is public, this is not private, but in private, these people would be doing this job, and they would be happy to do it because they're going to keep their job. And that's part of the deal in the private sector, is that, you know, we all do more. But this is not the private, so I digress.
We can go back. I mean, I'm a business owner in this city, and I got 34 employees. I can't get none of them to do nothing for free. And that's just a fact. That's just
You're
my
not going to
opinion.
fire one of them and hire 4 in this place.
Well,
You're going to fire that one person,
No,
Greg.
I'm just saying.
You're going to do
I
that.
can't- I pay them what I pay them when I say, can you do this, and this?
And you do a good job of
free.
it, too, from what I hear.
Can I call for the question? Is everybody,
Yep.
everybody
That's
says?
a call
All in
for the
favor?
vote. Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next one is the fire department. 2-step increases. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. City clerk, the advertisement and publications for the award to the Gazebo Gazette. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Fire department?
I think we got them twice. Oh,
Just like to thank everybody that has supported us.
I'm sorry. Idiot.
Through this new engine for the department. Appreciate y'all standing behind us, and moving forward, trying to get the funding for it and what have you. Appreciate it.
And, you know,
Did a good job.
And I'd like for everybody to fully understand, this city does a real good job on the maintenance and all of what they do to make things last longer. Can you tell us the age of the current fire trucks we have?
The current fire trucks that we have is a 99 model pumper. We have a 2000 model ladder truck and a 2013 pumper, and today we received a 2026 pumper. So, 2 of them are 26 and 27 years old.
And their lives and the people's lives of our city are dependent on this. This is what I'm talking about. We got to change things.
Yeah.
It's going to bite us one day.
Chief.
So I appreciate what y'all do with what you have to do it with.
Chief, if I may, what's the economic life of this truck that we just got?
This truck's economic life is 25 years unless it gets refurbished at some point.
25 years. So we're making an investment. We could have gotten a cheaper truck that wouldn't last as long?
Exactly.
Okay, well, that's smart. I like that.
We have, the previous chiefs, crunched those numbers back in the day. We started getting these custom pumpers in 1992, and, it has paid off to this point. It certainly has.
I hope we're all around when it retires.
Yeah,
Well, if you're going to be around when the 1999 retires, because it's still in service. All right, police department. You got some budget amendments?
Couple of budget amendments for some radios we purchased that wasn't in our budget, but we got refunded from the state, and that money was deposited March 9th. And then we had a training class that we were sending somebody to, and they canceled the class after we had mailed the check, like the day before they canceled it, and sent us that money back, so we're putting that back in our training line item.
I appreciate it. All right, so we got a motion?
Second it.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
Before we move on, just one quick question. I know you guys handle this, but it was asked to me on the street. Do we need to officially ask for barricades for the upcoming events this summer from other cities?
We approved that at the
That
last
was
meeting.
Mardi Gras, but we don't ask for any for Jeep.
We just asked for.
Do we have enough for Jeeping and all that?
They provide theirs from the county for Jeff Davis.
So we don't need to ask? Okay. All right, if that was something that we had to,
Check with Mike, we're out the barricade business, that's,
We don't know.
We don't provide them any food for Jeep, and they get dollars from the county.
okay,
The Mardi Gras is the only time we borrow.
okay, that was asked to me, that's why I wanted to make sure, so.
All right, so now go to engineering.
You're not in the barricade business? Nope.
Briarwood and Parkwood drainage upgrade, change order number 2. David?
This is really a time extension, twofold kind of justification. One is relevant to the change order that we did a month or so ago, and the other is just due to pretty hefty delays these guys encountered while they were starting the project. The time extension does not put our grant conditions in jeopardy at all.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next one is further MICWE projects, round 2. David?
These are the contracts for the projects that y'all voted for nearly a month ago. We've got those all designed. They're actually bidding right now, so we expect to receive bids in 2 weeks.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next one is MICWE ARPA funding corrective action letter number 2.
Motion.
MICWE Project 425. We got a motion? Second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Public Works,
You're all good tonight, thank you.
Recreation.
We're just asking that y'all approve whatever you want to on that paper you got for a lead testing for the playground area for the summer program.
All right, so it's $40. We're gonna have to do a test. He's gonna have to go out and dig some dirt up and send it to Jackson, I guess.
Motion.
So we got a motion, got a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. Next one, building. Building office.
All right.
Storage container permit for business. Mike?
Yes, sir. Their 30 days is up, and we had 6 people with no response or contact with my office after Courtney put out the public notice for everybody. I had 5 permits that I had issued, and 2 people removed them completely. And then we have the ones the city owns.
Okay.
That I've received a letter from a gentleman that said, hey, the city still has theirs, so.
Yeah, and I think I think a few of the board members were gonna work on,
I've been looking into
The verbiage of, I should have something in the next few weeks.
okay, all right, good deal.
Thank you for the update, Mike.
Property 123 South Island View and 816 Magnolia Street.
Somebody here to speak on it. Ask if there's somebody out there.
Is it, I don't think, anybody here to speak on those 2 properties? This isn't a hearing, this is
No,
kind of
but
an
I thought
update.
maybe she
The
was
roofs
gonna
were
show
being
up.
replaced?
Yeah.
Well, they're not being
Her
replaced.
representative showed up, said they would be fixed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Said it would
Well,
be done
actually,
in 30
the
days,
Said that
according.
they would have them done in 30 days, and they hadn't done anything, and I talked to, Simpson about this a little while ago.
Yeah, and Steve, do you want to elaborate on that, please?
I did. Mike and I discussed the fact that they had made assurances at a previous meeting that these roofs, and we're talking about tarped roofs, blue tarps, and these houses are occupied. The owners are out of state, but there are some renters in it, as I understand, Mike.
Correct, and I think one of the renters were one of the ones that came and spoke
Yes.
meetings ago.
And assured us that the repairs were going to be done. As of today, they've not been done. And what Mike and I discussed was that, and I reviewed the file with him, the last certified letter we sent to the owners came back, return receipt, not accepted, or whatever return is sender, that he sent another certified letter, and absent any response to it, that we would then publish in the local newspaper on 3 occasions our intent to issue or the fact that a citation had been issued, and then bring it before the municipal court judge to impose a fine and potential contempt of court if they don't take any action at that point. Yes, sir.
So my question is, we did adjudicate, we would still need to do this?
It's my understanding we previously adjudicated.
Yes,
Is
sir.
that correct?
We
And she assured within 30 days it would be corrected.
Yes, sir.
We'll confirm that. Mike and I will confirm that. But the next step is to
Take
issue
corrective
a
action.
citation and go through the municipal court.
Got it, thank
But for the purposes of service, if we're unable to get service on the landowner who's out of state, common problem, by certified mail, we'll have to publish in the newspaper for the world to see, and then proceed to city court. And they'll have a TIA, a trial in her absence and in the owner's absence, and impose a fine and a sanction, give them a period of time to correct it or be in contempt.
Okay.
You need that in a motion?
Motion for
Does that
you.
need to be in a motion?
No, sir, I think that's an action plan that Mike and I agreed is a proper way for his office to handle it.
Adjudicated, so it's
Yeah,
all
that's
within
all I'm
his,
saying.
yeah.
All right, anything from the harbor? We're good. All right, community affairs.
Yes, I have one thing. That same letter that you did for the Rotary, I need authorization to do the similar thing for the Radish Festival.
Oh, so moved.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Anything else, Courtney?
That's it. Thank you.
All right, any derelict properties? All right, report from city attorney.
Request a short executive session for the purpose of discussion and litigation.
And we have another item to go on there too. We can cover that one and,
The item that Timmy
oh, that's the
brought
one?
up.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
All right, so can I get a motion to go into executive session?
Motion. Second.
Second. All in favor?
Motion to come out?
We got a motion to come out of executive session.
Second.
All
No
in
action
favor?
taken.
No action taken. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Anything further, Steve? Where's he at?
No, sir.
All right, can I have a motion to adjourn?
Mr. Mayor, can I,
yes, I'm
can I make a motion that we close in honor of Mike Sanders and Miss Mary Levens? You know, with regrets, but both them and their families have made great contributions to our city. And I think the city honors that, their memory.
I'll
So.
be honored to second that.
All right, great. All in favor?
Aye.